Welcome back. Right now we are going to focus on your health, specifically MS and millennials. What is the connection between the two, and why is it sometimes problematic if millennials aren't prioritizing their health? It can be hard to find the time, and MS is something that is devastating to many, unfortunately. We have Dr. Martin Belkin here with us today, as well as Trish Palmer, a traveling nurse who also has MS. We're so grateful both of them are with us today. Dr. Belkin, let's start with you. Tell me more about MS and this connection with millennials.
Yeah, so MS, or multiple sclerosis, it's generally a lifelong autoimmune disorder that can affect the brain and spinal cord. However, it generally affects, it affects about 1 million adults in the US, but generally in the prime of their lives. So the average age of diagnosis is about 34, so that's the millennial generation or population. The issue is it's incredibly important to get that diagnosis and get on treatment because MS can be a progressive disorder. So for example, it can lead to issues with vision. It can lead to issues with numbness, tingling in the extremities. It can lead to gait and balance difficulties. So we want patients to not ignore symptoms, get diagnosed, get on an effective therapy so they can go live the lives they want to live.
Trish, tell us about your experience with MS.
Well, like Dr. Belkin said, I was in the prime of my life when I was diagnosed. I was 30 when I first started having symptoms, and I started having numbness and tingling down my right side, and it was scary. Initially, a lot of my fear was of the unknown, and that compounded when I was diagnosed with relapsing MS. My doctor was very encouraging that I start on a disease-modifying therapy right away, and that ended up being twice yearly Ocrevus, because one of the biggest things I was afraid of was the treatment getting in the way of my lifestyle. I'm active. I'm a person who likes to be outside and do things. I'm a travel nurse, and I don't want treatment getting into my way, but I also want to stay healthy so I can continue to do the things I love.
Dr. Belkin, why is it important to you to make sure that you are increasing awareness about MS among this younger generation?
Yeah, so part of the reason I'm here on behalf of Genentech to raise awareness about multiple sclerosis and get patients to advocate for their own health. And so it's so important, particularly the millennial generation, who really focuses on living their lives rather than focusing on their health. And really, we want to get them to understand they need to focus on their health if they're having symptoms, see a healthcare provider, and if MS is the diagnosis, get on an effective treatment early, because we know that progression starts early. So even if someone's feeling well, there could be progression going on that they're not aware of, and somewhere down the road that's going to catch up with them. So if they can get on treatment early, get treated effectively, then we expect them to go on to live the lives they want to do. That being said, treatments have risks and side effects, so they have to be mindful of that, work with their healthcare provider, make sure they get on a treatment that's going to be appropriate for them.
Trish, what advice do you have for individuals who are newly diagnosed with MS?
I think one of the biggest things for me was reaching out to other people. Human connection was huge. At first I was hesitant and I wanted to do it all myself, and that doesn't work. I learned that the hard way several times, and once I reached out to advocacy organizations and social media and support groups, both in person and online, I realized how important it was to be your own advocate and just to surround yourself with people that are supportive.
Dr. Belkin, where can we get more information about this?
Yeah, so one website would be ocrevus.com, where you can learn more about multiple sclerosis itself. You can learn more about a disease-modifying therapy that may be right for a given patient with the prescribing information, other safety information. So a great resource to learn more.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Belkin, for helping us understand this connection between MS and millennials. And Trish, we really appreciate you sharing your personal journey with MS, and we wish you all the health in the world. Thank you for your time. We'll be back with more right after this.